Sama Vinya Sama Sukatu Ananda Visaham Sati Sankadeva Masa Munda Adeva Vakatu Adeva Sandintitu Makadika Ipasiku Renaiku Pancantam Veditam Supatipanno Savete Sangho Supatipanno Savete Sangho Nyaya Patipanno Savete Sangho Samiti Patipanno Bhagavato Savita Sangho Yadidan Jandari Purisa Dhamiyanta Purisa Purita Isa Bhagavato Savita Sangho Aruneyo Karune Dakhineyo Anjali Karani Anandantam Punyam Ketam Lokantam Sinte Nawa Sanghate Indrana Satu Singhame Mira Eme Paramin Teresu Moni Tenetatu Mena Hena Time Parai Yutu Ame Ame Paramin Tenetatu Yutu Mananamin sadham situ Ini kalau Israel berada di dalam, ini kita terkait lagi kedua. Silakan sempat jalan. Pansil Samadan Winter Namaskarian. Buddhang saranam gacchami. Dhammang saranam gacchami. Sanghang saranam gacchami. Titiyampi buddhang saranam gacchami. Titiyampi dhammang saranam gacchami. Titiyampi sanghang saranam gacchami. Tatiyanti buddhang saranam gacchami. Tatiyanti Dhammam saranam gacchami Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami Isarene kameram sampunnam Panatipata viremani sikkhapadam samadhiyami Adinnadanam viremani sikkhapadam samadhiyami Michachara viremani sikkhapadam samadhiyami Musada viremani sikkhapadam samadhiyami Sarane Matthitama Gatana viremani sikkhapadam samadhiyami Sarane Satyam Panchasilam Dhammam Appamadena Sampadita Right, enough. Ada di tengah bulan puasa berpuluh-puluh pertama Indonesia ini harapan Rahasia mulkeragenya siddharani in විශේෂයෙන්ම සිරිමාවු බණ්ඩාරනායක බාලිකා විද්‍යාලයේ කැම්බරානුවර ආදි ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාව සංගමය ඉන්නේ ආදි ශිෂ්‍යාවන් සීල දෙනාම එකතු වෙලා මේ උතුම් පින්කමෙහි දායකත්වය දරමින් කටයුතු කරන්නේ එන්නේ පින්කමට දායකත්වයේ ලබා දුන සහයෝගී සබඳ සියලුම සමාජික පවුල්වල සියලු දෙනාටම සිත ප්‍රාර්ථනාවන් කරන්න ඒ වගේම මේ සියලු දෙනාගේ මෞර්යමෝපියාදී ඒ හැම දෙනාටම සිත පතන්නට ඒ වගේම මේ පරලෝක සපත්න සියලුම ඥාතීන්ට පින්දෙන්නට ඒ වගේම සංගමයේ සමාජිකාවන් සාමාජිකාවක් වන ජිනාලි ලෙන්කල මහත්මියගේ දයාබර මෑණියන් වහන්සේ දේශී බුද්ධදාස මාතාවට පින් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට ඒ වගේම හිමාශ්‍රී සිංහබාහු සොහොයතුළු හිමාශ්‍රී සිංහබාහු මහත්මියගේ ඒ දයාබර සහෝදරිය ඇතුළු ඒ පුතාලා දෙදෙනා ඒ ආර්ය අත්තරකට මොනපාලා ඉනි රෝගවලට සුවය ලැබෙමින් සිටින අවස්ථාව ඒ සියලු දෙනාටම නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුවය චිරජීවනය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්නට විලාස සම්පත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්නට ඒ වගේම දෙවිනි පద్මසිරි ආදී ශිෂ්‍යයන්ගේ පියාණන් වහන්සේ වන ප්‍රභාත් පද්මසිරි පියාණන් වහන්සේ ඒ රෝගාතුරව පසුවනවා එතුමානන්ට ආශිර්වාද කරන්න ඒ වගේම වසර කිහිපයකට පෙර මේ පරලෝක සපත් වන්න තිබුණ ඒ ආදි ශිෂ්‍යයන්තුම කපිලානි මහත්මියගේ සොරණියවන මුදුතා මහත්මියට ඒ වගේම ඒ මුදුතා මහත්මියගේ 50 වන ජන්මදිනය අද පිළිදී තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකමියට ආශිර්වාද කරන්න ඒ වගේම Nayatara Mahati Messi Diomanian Chandra Vidya විදානායක මෑණියන්ට පින් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට සැප්තැම්බර් මාසයේ 5 වන දින 45 වන උපන්දිනයේ සැමරූ දයාන්ති දයස් මහේෂ් මහත්මයා දීර්ඝායුෂ ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්න සැප්තැම්බර් 4 වන දින 15 වෙනි ජන්මදිනයේ සැමරූ සනුකි නියමිත ආශිර්වාද සිත ප්‍රාර්ථනාවන් සිදු කරන්නට කියන මේ සත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා බලාපොරොත්තු රාශියක් මුල් කරගෙන සිදු කරන්නේ මේ සියලුම ප්‍රාර්ථනා බලාපොරොත්තු සියල්ලම සමර්ථ වීම සඳහා මේ සකස් කරගත් විලංගස් සහිත පූජාව පුරෝකාග්‍රව ශාන්තනායක භාග්‍යවත් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත චිත්තගුණ උදෙසා බුද්ධ කරුණෙන් පූජා කරනවා පූජාන වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාවෙන් හැමදෙනාම වන්දනා කරමු නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු ආරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු ආරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු ආරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ඉතිපිසෝ භගවතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස විඤ්ඤාණ සම්පන්නෝ සුඛාතං ආනන්දෝ පරිසං සාරති සම්ප්‍රාප්ති සාකාතෝ සම්දේ ආකාරිකෝ Paseo Penai Panjang Kangwe Pando Sepai Pano Sahabat Kesang Berdepai Pano Sahabat Kesang Nyai Pai Pano Sami Dipati Panno Sam Yadi Danjanda Purisa Yukani Yadi Purisa Isa Bhagavatu Sadaka Sambu Takmini Anjali Karani Anandaya Punya Lokasya Vandani Kepiyan Sandan Sabulekani Sepatende Sari Maha Ingkeleru Sakala Dhanasara Patinte Vite Samaka Tilobe Pansambodham Jayamita Sudandika Matinam Sudandina Jaya Nitaka Vanavanda Napetam Yetam Kusuma Santas Udaya Vimahindas Sejitaya Saro Udini Buddham Kusumena Hati ආරාධනා පිළිගන්නේ වෙනද දවසේ නියමිත දේශනාව සඳහා බණ්ඩනෝන් ශාන්ති කොරස් මොනස්ට්‍රී කටයුතු කරන අපේ ආර්ය කාර්මිකා විශ්ණු වහන්සේ අපේ කැමරා බෞද්ධ විහාරස්ථානයේ ගුරු ගෞරවයෙන් පිළිගැනෙන ඉන්නේ උතුම් සතහන් දේශනාව සිද්ධ කරන හැටියට ගුරු කාර්මිකව ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා
Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Yeah. Nice to see some of the familiar faces. Nice to see kids here too. Welcome. So, do you know the topic? That's right. Yeah. Hello to all the people online as well. Who knows the topic for today? Nobody? Right. Right. Cultivating good seeds. I said cultivating good seeds in children, but I suppose everybody can cultivate good seeds, right? It's never too late, also for the adults, isn't it? So I just want to ask a question. Okay. We do the sharing of methods at the end. Okay. Now, I wanted to ask, are you happy to engage with me? Because that is very helpful if you can engage, yeah? Because these days the attention span of people very low. So if you engage, then we might have a better outcome. So are you happy to put your hands up if you from time to time experience stress? I just want to have an idea. Who has stress? The kids have stress. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I want to specially ask the kids, what makes you stressed? Yes, please tell me. Yeah, everybody who has their hands are willing to, yeah, start from this corner. Tell me, what makes you feel stressed? Why do you get stressed with that? Do you enjoy swimming and violin? Or?
I do enjoy it, just that they come up like really fast, and then suddenly they're here, and then just
What's the song?
like just always like training, and then I just
Okay, fair enough. And what about the little brother? What's your stress?
my sister never shares.
Oh, your sister, where? Thank you for being honest. That's important to hear, right? You need to hear. Anybody else who would like to say their stress? Yes, yes, the boy at the back. I'm sorry, I can't make the eye contact. But fair enough. Also, can I ask the people online to please mute yourself because there's quite a bit of distance coming through the Zoom. Just mute some. Somebody looking at it.
So they're open.
All right. Sorry about that. Otherwise, they're shouting at me and I get distracted. All right. Anybody else who wants to say the stress? No? Yes, yes, please. Okay, piano practice. Why is it stressful? I'm guessing that you enjoy it, right?
Sometimes I forget the notes and I don't want to forget that because I have to look at.
I see. I see. Okay. How about the adults? Would some of the adults like to say their stresses? You enjoy it, right? Yes, please. What about them? What about them stresses you? Yeah.
Listening, stressful.
Right.
Also the cultural, our upbringing is
Uh-huh.
to their upbringing.
Uh-huh. Fair enough. Yes. I'm glad you didn't say the husband, but I'm sure. And the husbands might also say, but they're all diplomatic, so I'll just bring it up myself because I know that's it. All right. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of stresses. The idea is to get engaged this term. Now, for people who are maybe my age or a bit older, when we were growing up, did we hear the word stress? No, up until recently, I didn't even know the Sinhala word for it. Now it's called Arthatya, right? Such a thing didn't exist. I only knew it about recently. Do you know, get the point? Sometimes, these are concepts, right? But once you get it, everything is called stress. Because the reason some of these things doesn't have to be stressful, right? Yes, you feel something, some difficulty, but now the thing is, I'm glad that we have both children and parents together because it's a connection, right? Where did the children learn to become stressed? Where do you think? From us? Yeah. Yes, isn't it? This is very true. Yes, don't point to your mom, she'll get stressed. She's already a bit stressed, I'm sure. So, this is the thing. So, we have to remember. So, if we want to plant good seeds in children and in ourselves, it's a lot to do with who we are as well. Now, if we ask this still the youngest ones, they are very sensitive to our emotions. If you ask the kids, now kids can say, do you know when your mom and dad are a bit angry when they come home from work? Do you feel when they are stressed? You're just, yes. When they're sad, yeah, you feel them, right? And you sort of react to it, especially the really little ones. I want to tell a story here, a real story that I learned. I mean, I've never got married and had children, so I don't have direct first-hand experience, but my cousin's husband told me this story. They have two girls, one 3 and the other one is 5. So both parents are working, so they take turns to do the cooking. So it was the dad's turn to cook. The two girls were playing. And of course, the two girls were waiting home for the parents to come, right? Because the whole time, all they want, the kids, you want to be with your parents, right? More than anything. Is that true? Yeah. Don't lie. Try to be cool. I know what you want. You want to be with your parents. You want to have their affection. You want to spend time, and you wait all day long. Especially the really little ones who don't go to school yet. They're waiting until the parents come home. But the parents come home, and straight away they start cooking and doing housework, work from work, already coming very tired, traffic and all sorts of stuff has happened, and then have to deal with all of these things. So this was my cousin's husband now trying to cook, come home from a busy day and making dinner. Of course, it was the wife's day off, so she was on the phone happily talking with her dad. Right? So he's thinking, and then the two girls were playing, but the little one, the 3-year-old one, wanted to come and get some attention from dad. Fair enough, right? Whole day dad wasn't there. I'm sure you can relate to this. This has happened to you before. So she wanted him to stop everything and hold her. Right? And the father is telling, leave me alone, I have to cook, I'm tired. And then he was about to go and tell his wife off, saying, can't you see, I've come home from work and now I'm cooking. Can't you at least look after the children? How can I look after the children, cook? So he's now under lots of pressure. Can you see? I'm tired at the end of the day. So he had a moment of wisdom at that time. That's why he shared it with me. At that time, first of all, he was a bit angry and upset and didn't annoyed and said, can't you see also to the girls, like, I'm making dinner for you, leave me alone. But then he decided, okay, I'm going to give up. So he switched off. He was cutting some onions and things on the stove. He switched everything off, mentally decided, okay, never mind, we might get some Uber Eats or something. Right? Very difficult thing to do. If you are a task-oriented person, if we are on a task, to be interrupted or to stop is extremely hard, right? We want to do what we are doing, and to completely let it go is hard. But at that time, he decided he'll do it completely. This is the important point. He completely gave it up and gave 100% attention to the 3-year-old who wanted him to pick her up. So he picked up her with lots of affection, lots of love. At that time, she was the most important person, and he just held her. How long do you think she wanted that? Yes. What do you think?
Maybe about, I'm guessing around 3 hours.
No, only 5 minutes. Yeah, when you give fully, right? 5-10 minutes, she climbs down, goes and plays. Don't trouble the dad alone. But your point is correct too. So, but if the dad didn't give up what he wanted to do, in his mind, he still wanted to do the cooking and wanted her to be ended with this thing. And when am I going to go back to my cooking? If he had that in mind, yes, about 3 hours also, she wouldn't be finished. You know this, right? They put up a tantrum. But when they get what they want fully, when they're satisfied, then they're all right. Get the point? So sometimes we don't really do that. I will tell you the other story also. I'm guessing this is not recorded and my cousin's not given going to listen to it. Otherwise, I'll be very upset. But in the meantime, it's a very important real life situation, right? This is really important because this is how the kids start to have stress, worry, upset, and all of these things. When they're not happy, they buy into everything else. So, when the mom tries to put the children to bed, she's constantly on the phone because it's a waste of time trying to put the children. So she's thinking, I might as well use the time while she's in bed with them, and they never fall asleep for 3 hours. Yeah, because they're not resting. They feel even though mother's body is next to them, mother is not with them. Mother is not giving affection, so they're constantly wanting it and they don't fall asleep. Has this happened to you before? I'm sure it has. So, and then if when the dad is putting, because now he learned the lesson, he puts everything out and give 100% to the two girls. If he puts the children to bed, if he's peaceful, and then they fall asleep within 10-15 minutes, and then he can go and do the work. I'm making a very important point here. It's not only for the kids as well, for anything, wherever you want to do, if you give 100% to the person who needs attention and focus and get it done, it's much efficient way of everything. People are also happy, you are also happy, nobody puts up a tantrum. This is true with husbands and wives as well. Yeah, not only with kids, even though they might not express it, you feel it. You don't feel the person gives themselves. Yeah, so because we all need respect, right? We all need some respect, we all need some affection, and we need trust. Is that true? Anybody who doesn't need all those three things? Yeah, we need them. So this is why. So until we get them, until we are satisfied, we will make some agitation. And those are the parts of this building up stresses in our lives. Not those other big things. So other big thing is the one that you call, this is my stress. But in reality, it is that unsatisfactoriness of not feeling fulfilled, not feeling happy. And those things then build up into other things. So make sure if you want to cultivate good seeds, first of all, that you learn how to give yourself. Now I'm going to ask some questions. Who is the most, no, what's the most important time? Yes? What do you think?
I think the most important time is like spending time with your parents.
Oh, very good. Anybody else wants to answer this question? Yes?
And nighttime.
Nighttime.
That's the time people sleep.
Right. Okay. And that's the most important time. Family time. Parents, are you hearing these things? Yeah. Good. Okay, I might not take all the hands, otherwise we might not end up. Sorry about that. We'll take turns. So, but the most important time is actually now. Yeah, now is the only time we have, right? How do you know whether we are going to have, we are going to be even alive a little later? Yeah, now is the most important time. But who do you think is the most important person? Yes?
Family.
No, person.
Maybe mom.
Mom. Oh my goodness, dad's not here. Who's the most important person? Yes. Oh, very sweet. Yes. Ourselves? Okay. Let's see. The most important person is who you are with, who's in front of you right now. Okay, let's come to this. So remember, the important time is now. The most important person is who's in front of you. What do you think is the most important thing to do? Anybody else? Except, but nobody else has hands up. So what is the most important thing to do?
But the most important thing to do, doubling back, would probably be like spend time with your parents, like
Close, it's close, yes.
enjoy the time we have.
Yes, that's true. So it is about being kind. Yeah, kind. So all of those things are about being kind. So the most important time is now. The most important person is who's in front of you. And the most important thing to do is to be kind. Can you remember these three things? So that means that who's in front of you, you give them 100% your time and you give them kindness. Do you feel good if this happens to you? Like when you are in front of when you're in front of somebody, if you feel that they are actually giving you their attention and that they are giving you kindness, do you feel happy? Yes. Do you need that? Yes. Do you do that? If you're trying, that's great, right? This is important. So remember this. This is the point that I was getting with the kids too, because a lot of kids' stress is also related to those things, even though they said music or swimming or whatever else they say. The real stress is coming from that insecurity or not having enough affection, love, time, all of those things. That's why they said what's the most important thing is family time. Yeah, to enjoy, to be happy, all of those things you do it with your family. So it is really important. Is that true, kids? Is that what you want? Yes, when you are happy, everything else you can deal with it, isn't it? Even if it is really hard thing, when your mind is happy, you can deal with it. But when you are not happy, even the smallest thing is really hard. Is that true? This is true because think about it at times. You have had the same kind of problem happen at a time when you are so happy, you are in good health, everything is going well in your life. It was nothing for you. You had dealt with it with no problem. And there have been other times the same kind of thing happened at a time when you are down, sad, upset, or tired, sick, whatever. And then that thing becomes extremely unbearable, isn't it? So that is when even the small thing feels like stressful. Now, the adults didn't speak, and we don't have time to ask each and every person in the audience what are the stresses in your life, but think about it. Some of the things that stresses you are small things, right? Anybody in this room feel that their life is under threat, that somebody is going to kill them? Not really, right? There's no war, nothing like that. Now, if that was happening, well, that's a really good cause to be a bit stressed. I would be. If, I have to go to some place where it's very dangerous for me, I would be stressed. If my life is a threat, I would be a bit stressed. Fair enough. But nothing like this, right? So our stresses in life is actually very, very small. We just use that term and buy into it, and we sort of go into a certain mind state. This is not helpful. This is really not helpful. So, if you want to deal with stress, if you want to cope with stress, then it is very important you know how to build up happiness in your life. Now, happiness is not just with screen time, music, or playing games and stuff like that, because those things actually make you tired. Happiness is when you make somebody else happy. Do you feel happy when you make somebody else happy? Yes. Is it too hard to make somebody else happy? Just making a cup of tea, yeah, giving a little compliment, yeah, helping out with something. Which kids help mom and dad at home? What do you do? What kind of things do you do? Do you clean up? Do you help with cleaning? Yes, you can say. Just say, yeah. Yes. I'm looking at it. It's very hard for me to make eye contact, but just speak up. Any one of you. Yes.
More so like cleaning our
Okay, that's big help, isn't it?
like doing things that mom and dad probably wants to do without asking.
Mhm.
But not dumb things but not dumb things like doing
Good. Anyway, so making somebody else happy. Do you write little notes to say thank you? Show your gratitude? Do you know how to express gratitude? How about the adults here? When was the last time you expressed your gratitude to somebody? Yeah? When was the last time you made a complaint? Easy, isn't it? Why? How does it feel when you complain about things? Not happy, right? When you give compliments, you feel happy. When you receive a compliment, you feel happy. When you're happy, you can deal with life. So, when you do these things, the kids also learn, yeah, because gratitude and things is something that we need to learn and educate, especially in a country like here, which is a very privileged society, right? And there are many, many kids, many, many people, adults as well, who has not yet had anything to eat all day. Yeah, sleep under a bridge if they're lucky, or under a tree, don't have a job, don't have anything to wear. Yeah. So when we forget all about these things and we complain about lots of stuff, we have very, very good things. We forget about all the good things we have, but we are very easy to complain about things. Again, when we complain, when the mind goes to that state, then everything else in your life feels stressful. So this is why it's so important that the adults, the parents also, instead of being so busy working, so busy doing so many things, why do you do all of these things anyway? To be happy, right? All of those things, from the type of shoe to the kind of clothes to the type of food or the suburb you live or your car, your job, your partner, everything is to bring you happiness. All those things that you do are to bring you happiness. But you have happiness or a lot of stress and suffering, isn't it? So you need to have that time to enjoy as well. So decide the difference between needs and wants. We have asked this question before. The kids know the answer very well. Who can tell me what are your needs? Yes? Let's ask somebody else. Who knows? Yes. Water, right? Yes. Food. What else? Life is there, but what is the need? Yes. Sleep. Good. What else? Shelter. Yes. What else? Oxygen. What else? Medicine. Yeah. And clothes. You need, right? So that's actually 4 things. You need food and water as one thing, clothes as a second thing, shelter and medicine. Everything else is your wants. Think about it. I'm not taking questions, sorry.
Question.
Answer? Yeah, okay. What is it?
Well, when you say water,
Yeah.
it means clean water.
Yeah.
And when you say food, it means good food. That's not going to give you food poisoning.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's just I'm just talking about big groups. So it's just food and water, shelter, and clothes and medicine. This is all you need. Okay, I'm also talking to the adults. Think about it. How much more do you need? It's because of your wants that you're working really hard, right? How much happiness is your wants bringing you? Does it tally up the amount of work you need to do and the happiness those things bring? Or is it better that you didn't have to do all of those things and have a simple life with these 4 things? You need to have happiness right here and now, right? Because life is short. So put this into perspective into your own life, because these are the seeds that you're going to be planting in your kids, because they would repeat what you do. If you accumulate a lot of things, if you have a lot of wants, if you want to do so many things that are not necessarily bringing you happiness, they will also go through the same thing. They will also reap a lot of stress, suffering, and tiredness. So learn to unlearn those other things. Go against the stream. Try and see how much you can simplify. Try and see what wants can I reduce. It's okay to have some wants, that's fine. Yeah, but we have too many wants, which is what is making us weary. So think about these things very seriously. And as you change and introduce these kinds of lifestyle, the children also learn to have more time in them. So you have actually more family time. Did you hear the kids telling what they want? Family time. They were saying what makes them happy is that not all the money you earn and get them all the expensive things. Well, that's all right, okay. But I'm sure they'd rather have more love, affection, and time together than all of those material things that they have plenty at the moment. Yeah. For us also, that is what we need, isn't it? We need time with each other. We get lost because we are so tired. So think about these things. These are important seeds. But once you have that, once you have rest and once you have a little bit of happiness, then you can do these other things. So are you aware about respect? Have you thought about how to deal with respect? Yeah. Now, some of the parents are saying, not getting respect, the children dealing disrespectfully, not listening, all of that as a problem. Now, when the children were talking to you when they were little, did you actually stop what you were doing, looked at them, and listened to them? Take a moment, don't answer. Because where did they learn that disrespect? I mean, not only from you, of course, they learn it also from other places. But but parents are the main conditioning people. If the parents always also treated children with a lot of respect, they will actually treat you back with respect. So if you have difficulty in receiving respect, even from children or at work or from your spouse or anybody, stop for a moment and see whether you treat other people with respect. Respect is not just bowing down and all of those kinds of stuff. You can just do that without any feeling in your heart. Respect is that truly appreciating, giving the time, looking at somebody, making eye contact when you talk, right? And making them feel that they have been heard. Do you feel hurt when you speak, somebody is not listening? You feel that, right? You feel when somebody doesn't listen to you. You're talking or trying to say something and they don't listen to you. So these are very important, subtle things of showing respect. Respect and affection come together. If you have affection for somebody, you naturally have that respect, right? When they speak, you look. So this is important. So try and see how can you cultivate your own way of showing respect. This is how you can plant yourself a seed of respect. And this is a very good seed that goes into the children. And remember, we have gaps. We have generation gaps to meet. We have cultural gaps to meet. We have educational gaps to meet. And few other gaps as well, just to mention the minimum. That's enough, right? 3 is enough already. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes, especially everybody here is Sri Lankan. So, we have 2 different cultures now. Like the parents have brought up in one worldview, the children are taking up another worldview. Who is right? Everybody is right. It's nothing right or wrong, right? There's a different view. But we have to learn to respect each other. It's not about you have to come to me or I have to come to you. It's about trying to meet in the middle. This needs a lot of communication. So kids also got to understand that the parents' way of looking at things is a bit different to how you have learned, right? And the parents got to understand as well. And you have to work together. But you can only work together if you have affection and respect for each other, isn't it? If you don't have affection and respect, you wouldn't care. I don't care. I'll do my way, you do your way. The family is dysfunctional. But if you have respect and affection, then you will make it important to meet the gaps, right? This is important. This is part of your respect and affection, and to lessen your stress, because most part of your stress is actually coming from your close people issues. You will think your work is stress, my deadline is stress, my this is stress, my finance is stress. They are actually secondary stresses. If you are actually happy, if your family unit is together, have affection, trust, and respect, you don't care even if you lost your house or lost your job, you have each other, you will go through it, you will survive it. It's not a stressful situation. You will manage. The stress comes when you don't have this together, and when you establish yourself in those things as your sense of self, that's a much more serious problem. Yeah. Is that true? It is actually true. Think about it. You might get a little bit conflicted as you hear this. Take some time to contemplate these things. Yeah. Really, when your heart is very happy, satisfied, have all of those things, and have your people together, you can go through anything. Have you seen this happen with people? With some people, they have nothing. They go through so much difficulty, but they stick together. They have that connection and they manage it. And there are others, they have everything, but they struggle to go through something even small. So these things, sometimes it's important to reflect back. So building that up are good seeds. Yeah, this is what we want. So work on the ways that you can build up your respect, your affection for each other. Now, how do you build up affection? Or how do you actually lose your affection? You lose your affection when you start to see not so good qualities in another person. Is that true? And when you see good qualities in a person, your affection grows. That's how you start to like somebody, right? So what happens in family as time goes by, as you face challenges, even the kids start to see some not so nice qualities in the parents. Maybe parents sometimes get angry, they get stressed, they get anxiety, or they have sadness. So when you see, sometimes we forget that we are. Well, I have to ask a question. Any robots in the audience? Hands up. No robots, right? Any animals in the audience? No? No. Yeah, all human beings? Do you agree? Yeah? We are human beings, right? Yeah, we are human beings. And are human beings perfect? Do you think human beings are perfect? Never make any mistakes? No? You make mistakes? Other people make mistakes? But it's a stress, right? When you want to be perfect, because you're worried, is it a stress not to make a mistake? Adults too, right? You're very, very afraid to make a mistake, especially in your profession. You don't want any of your peers to tell you, hey, you did it wrong, you didn't know what to do, what you did wasn't the best, right? And this is an incredible stress. But we forget we are human beings. Yeah. So remember this. This is very important to remember that we live with human beings. So we have to allow ourselves and others to make mistakes. Are you able to do that? It's very important. It's hard for people, yeah? Never mind other people, but sometimes it's for you to make a mistake. It's very difficult. Why? Our sense of self, our ego, right? It's difficult because these are the biggest places where stress is coming from. So when our ego gets in our way and when we are afraid to make mistakes, children also buy into that. They also sink into that. Yeah. So if you want to cultivate good seeds, bring yourself down to about 70%. That's a good mark. This is what Ajahn Brahm says. Don't always try to put 200%, not 100%, 70%. You might get 200%, but your aim is 70%, which means you have 30% to make mistake. And it will be much more than better job. Anyway, even if you want to get 100%, you're only going to be doing 70% in reality. That's the truth, yeah? That's the stress. And anyway, whatever is perfect for you. Have you ever done a perfect job and got criticized by others? I recently had a situation, I'm a nun, and this was from another monastic. And I thought I did a perfect job with we were doing some constitution work. So I prepared the document. I thought I was very sophisticated in getting everything done. I was very proud of myself as well. And we had a meeting. And during the meeting, I had to do some editing on Zoom. So I wasn't most efficient. I did how I could do. And the other person said, you don't know how to do this, do you? And I finished. I momentarily finished. What I thought was perfect was not perfect for the other person. Yeah. Has that happened to you? I'm sure it has. This is the thing. Yeah. Everybody's perfect is different. Even what you thought perfect today is not perfect for you later on. This is the thing. So because of that, also don't buy into this idea of wanting to be perfect. This is another source of pressure. This is another source of stress. Now, why the kids were saying music and swimming and all of these things was stressful is because they don't want to make a mistake, and they want to perform to the highest expectation. So this is the stress. But tell them it's all right. Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes. Tell yourself it is okay to make mistakes. The only thing, learn from your mistakes. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times you make the mistakes. It takes a while for us to get our act together and learn something. But if you never have the attitude of learning, then you're making the same mistake the whole life. And that's a silly person. Not making mistakes is not possible because we agreed that we are human beings. So when you allow yourself, give yourself consent to make mistakes and learn from them, a large part of your stress is going to go away. This is now true for kids and adults. And when the adults do that, and adults also tell the kids this, that do your very best, that's enough, or do however you want to do, enjoy this. That's what I want you to do. I want you to enjoy your swimming or your soccer or your football or your piano, whatever it is, you're doing this not to excel to the highest. That's not important. I want you to have a good time doing this. These are recreations, right? Sports and music supposed to give you happiness. If you get stressed out of that, what's the point in doing that? Defeats the purpose. But this is what the parents have to tell. You can't compete with each other because you look at the other family and the other kids and why can't my kid perform the same? It's such a sad thing. Do you want a high performing kid or a kid who's highly stressed? What do you want? Yeah, it's no good. You want rather a kid who is happy, yeah, who's having a good time, who's in a rest and relaxed state. Then they can perform really well. So don't put pressure also. So these are so many things, but respect, and the other thing is about trust and honesty. Have you ever lied to your kids? You can't say I know, but I think you have sometimes. Yeah, this is not helpful. I know sometimes to tell the truth could be difficult, but you need to find skillful ways to say the truth because the kids also learn to lie and be dishonest when they see you do it. Right? If they see the parents are doing it, they think, okay, it's okay for me to do it as well then. Right? So it's very big challenge. So if you want to plant good kids, good seeds in your children, it's you got to get your act together, pretty much, yeah. And it is not easy, but you have to do the not easy things if you want a good outcome. So there are so many different things that I mentioned. Um, there's still about 15 minutes, but I like to get engaged with people. So any questions, comments, and any other area that you would like me to address? I'm now more asking the adults. Yes? Right. Right. Yes, okay. Thank you. There's so many things I can only cover a little, but this is the important one. I'm going to ask a question to the kids. Kids, are you paying attention? Yes? How many of you play games? Can you put your hands up, please? Okay. All right. Do you really like your games? Like video games, we're talking about screen times. Not video. When I said, sorry, rephrasing the question. How many of you play a lot of screen things? Yeah? Okay. Not that many, yeah. Some kids are okay actually. How many adults? Let me ask the question. How many adults spend a lot of time on the screen? Instagram, Facebook. No, nobody wants to put their hands up, but I'm sure. Oh, okay. Thank you for being honest. Their kids are telling you to put. They have seen you do it, yeah. Okay, I have a question for you kids again, okay? Because it was a lot about the kids, but also the parents. Now, if your parents are going to give you 2 hours of quality time, that means they will completely give themselves lots of affection and do whatever you want to do with them, like play a game, go somewhere, talk, cuddle, hug, whatever you want. If they want to give you 2 hours of that, or 2 hours of your video game time, which one do you want? What? Yes.
I would choose the 2 hours of quality time.
With parents?
Because, well, I don't get much time with my parents because they're pretty busy.
Yeah.
And two, I've never played a video game, so I'm just assuming that it's not right.
What about other kids who are playing video games? What is your answer? 2 hours of game time or 2 hours of mom and dad good time? They're shy, they're not saying, not wanting to make a commitment. What about the husbands and wives? If you are addicted to playing games, I know some of you are. They are not making a public announcement, but I do know that. Yeah, that's fine. Work is not included, not work time, entertainment time. Yeah, you know how when you come home, you're still addicted to these things. What do you want? Do you want your partner's time? Yeah, you're not committing, I know, but I have asked these questions, and lots of people say you want the other person's time, your affection, quality time with a human being. And the reason why a lot of the kids go into screen time is precisely because they feel a bit ignored by the parents. They don't have enough time with them. Either parents are so busy working, or they're so busy with their own screen time, or whatever. And the kids have a lot of pain. They're suffering because they're waiting for love and affection. And when the pain is too much, they'd rather just go to a screen time. Just like the adults too. Why do you pick up your phone? Sometimes because you're bored and have a little bit of pain, right? And then you just rather distract yourself. So if you don't want that to happen, then it's a family thing together. It's actually really nice to spend time together doing physical things, like do a board game, go out for a walk, build something, have a nice chat, talk about a story rather than watching a story. Yeah. These are very important family bonding, affectionate time. That will just bring down that screen time tremendously, and your mental exhaustion will go, because screen time is what makes you very exhausted. Yeah. So in the old cultures, there were times that they would sit around and have storytelling. How many kids get to hear about your childhood time? Yeah, your how you grew up in your village, about your grandparents, stories from those are important, right? They're really important things. Spend time talking, acting, drawing, whatever it is. You have to find to do things together. So de-stressing is about these things, right? It's not about other things. But yeah.
So, I think this is true for young kids. You can have all this, but when they become teenagers,
Right.
that is where the problem starts.
Right.
Because they have the peer pressure
Yeah.
to play games, so they play hours and hours, even though they are
Right.
still working with the parents or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they have this peer pressure
Yeah.
or all kind of things. So that is where, especially in this society,
Right.
I think it is important to have some sort of way of dealing with these
Mm.
children?
It's about talking about that with them. Telling about the peer pressure is a made up thing, right? If you go on with this peer pressure forever, you are going to be frustrated, whether it's about games or whether it's about anything else. This is the pressure we also all feel. So need to talk about that. And then even for the teenagers, I've asked this question even from the teenagers, they still want people time and other activities that are more happy. If they're doing that, they will give priority. So then you have to find out what other things that they might find interesting, even with themselves to do, rather than playing games. So sometimes they might like going rock climbing, yeah, or something like that. So you have to also allow them to do these things. Sometimes might be a little bit dangerous, but you are still there. So allow them to do those. They're still better than other things. So it's about finding those things and educating them and finding them other enjoyable things to do. The screen is so easy. That's why you give it. Other things take time, take money, effort. So you don't do it, but it's worthwhile doing it. Much better if you all do it with the family. But most important thing, even with the teenagers, is having a good friendship. Because at that age, they start to become very alienated. But at that time, don't treat them like children anymore, like babas. That's what we call, right? We're still big babas. Don't do that. Welcome them to adult life. Treat them like a friend. That doesn't mean they're going to lose the respect they have for parents. They will have the respect, but they'll start to feel comfortable. You'd rather be their best friend than their peers, but you need to make them feel that. And when you have that kind of friendship, again, the peer pressure isn't important for them. They'd rather do this. And a lot of teenagers who I've seen who are going through teenage years without any problem, those teenagers are ones who actually play real sport, like physical sport. They also help out at home. They do homework, housework, yeah, and they are the ones who also work, not because the parents need money, just to learn, be in the work process. Rather, this is also the time that they have to study. But if not, they're just going to play games anyway. But when they play a real sport, when they work, help out at home, when they also have a job, and the parents are good friends, they talk, they communicate, they don't have, then no problem. They actually don't go for their peers, they'd rather stick with the home. I've seen this again and again. Again, this is something that the parents have to do, and you have to build up and make your children your best friends and make them feel, and they actually want to, because they're anyway bonded to you. They'd rather be friends with you than the other people. At the end, they will enjoy them, but they will find a friend in you, then they will actually spend more time together. There's so many things. This is an endless topic, right? There are so many seeds to be planted. Now we are coming to the very end. Who can tell me what are the seeds to be planted that we talked about here today? Yes? No stress, but how do you plant a seed? Yeah, when parents don't have stress, that's a good seed to be planted. What else? Did we talk about finding happiness? Doing things that make you happy? Yeah? Did we talk about building up respect? Did we talk about building up affection? I didn't say too much about trust, but you need to work on your trust as well. It's a big topic. I don't think I can address it, but if you have your respect and affection, trust will be right next to it. Yeah, work on your respect and your affection, you will have trust. What else did we speak? Achieving, aiming 70%. Yeah. What else? Yes.
Having family time, and we spoke about like, well, you're never gonna get completely perfect.
Yes, that's important. Yeah, perfect. Not to be perfect. Spending family time. Thank you. And needs and wants. Kids listening to other adults. What's happening? Thank you. Yeah. You all are listening. Maybe you have to learn from the kids. Maybe the kids have to plant seeds for the adults. You have to turn around the topic. Does all these things make sense? Do you think it's going to help you deal with your stress? Yeah? Are you going to do it? What are you going to do? Are you going to think about things, how to do things differently, or you're going to go home and go back to your same old, same old? It'll be a time wasted, you know. Yeah, it's important to find, you know, recreation. It's important to find time for family. It is important to find joy, when ways of finding joy and peace from within. Yeah. How many of you meditate? Great. So others also think about meditation, short meditations. I'm not talking about sitting on the floor for hours and hours watching the breath. There are many forms of meditation, yeah? Simple meditations, relaxations. How many of you go for a walk for relaxation? Good. How many of you do have play a sport? Only the kids. What happened to adults? How many of you have a creative hobby? Gee, what do you do for happiness? Other people? Are you just only work and work? Work at work and work at home? Yeah. What a wasted life.
Some of these people are in Dhamma school.
Yeah.
They do practice every day, every Saturday during their starting school. They have to do 3 minutes meditation,
Yeah.
loving kindness meditation.
That's
So
good.
they do well actually.
That's good. So why don't the parents do that too?
Some parents
Do?
come with children also do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you know that you can meditate at work? If you put your clock to go off, chime on the hour, even if you are in the most important meeting, if you close your eyes for 1 minute or 2 minutes, nobody's going to know that you're not there. You're with mind, and you're not going to miss out much because people repeat 10 times, right, in a meeting. So you can just, they will think that you're deeply listening or contemplating, but you can learn to really maybe hold your hands together, touch sensations on your thighs, whatever it is you have something to hold. Just close your eyes for 1 minute and just pay attention to your body for 1 minute. On the hour, every hour, you would have meditated 8 hours during work. You can increase it to 2 minutes. You could do 16 minutes during work. It's a huge, huge benefit, because that mind that never stops is your stress. But if you learn to break the momentum, even for 1 minute, makes a huge difference. Even for that stressful meeting, you will catch up in no time and you will come out with better solutions. So try to learn to stop even at a meeting, let alone any other time. Only time don't do it when you're driving. Okay, don't stop. Or stop by the right side of the road, have a minute or two and get back onto the highway. Yeah, that's fine. Other thing, you can go and sit in your toilet. In America, they're called restrooms, right? In Australia, it's not, but in America, they are called restrooms. Go and sit. And if it is a bit too long and if they ask what happened, say that you were constipated. Constipated in the head, right? So you need some time to sit. Yeah, restrooms are incredibly peaceful, quiet places. Go and have a small break. It's really important. You become much more efficient, especially if you are under pressure. You have lots to do and you can't think and think and think and come out of a solution. Get out of your seat, go for a walk, look at the sky, look at the clouds or a plant or a small insect for 5 minutes. It'll be incredible the solutions that will come when you actually stop. Our problem is we can't let it go. We want to constantly keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and no solution comes, and you end up with stress. This is true for kids too. If you ever feel stressed, learn few things. Now I'm going outside of Dhamma, but this is important because a certain degree of stress, Dhamma is also not going to be helpful straight away. When you go home, Google and find out somatic movements to reduce stress. If you remember, okay? Somatic movements. Yeah. Yeah. Some people can't do that, right? At some age you can do that, but of course, if you can, that's great. But not everybody's going to be able to do that, especially when you have little kids. But it's also possible. There are these somatic movements. Do you know what somatic movements are? Body movements, yeah, because we hold our stress in our bodies. This is what the kids are going to feel when you come home. The way your body language, when you hold stress in your body, they feel it and they mimic you. So that is how they get stressed, not their things that they mention that they get stressed. They mimic, they mirror you, how you hold yourself. So these somatic exercises going to release your stress responses that is stuck in your body. When you start to relax, they will relax. These are just outside of things because you need this. If you haven't heard this is really not my business. Not from the Dhamma perspective, but equally important because sometimes you need to get people up into that base level before I can give you much more Dhamma, right? Also, how to relax your vagus nerve. That is your triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. Very simple exercises, yeah? Where it takes 2-3 minutes to do it, it releases. Sometimes that's why you feel stressed for really nothing because it's just got stuck in your body. The event has passed long ago. You're still carrying it with you to home and give that stress to your partner, to your kids, to your dog even, yeah? Not necessary. So use those, but once you actually release, then you can apply the Dhamma stuff. Yeah. So just to make it complete, it's gone to 8 o'clock. I want to say 4 more things from the suttas that are very helpful to deal with life in a good way, deal with our relationships in a good way, because we said that a lot of our stress and difficulty is coming from that and not having enough happiness. Before I say that, I also want to ask, is there anybody here who doesn't want to become famous? Who doesn't want to be loved? Who doesn't want to have friends? Nobody, right? We all want to be, maybe not necessarily very famous, but we want to be recognized by people, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be respected, to have friends. Then you can listen to these things because I don't need to give a lot of advice on this. This is homework. The Buddha says in Anguttara Nikaya, book 4, first thing, generosity. Do you all know what generosity is? It is giving. It's not only giving dana, it's also giving kindness. Yeah, it is giving a smile, it's giving compliments, all of those things. So think about how to be a generous person. Endearing speech. Do you like to hear nice speech when people speak to you nicely? Speech that goes to the heart? Do you like to be spoken like that? Then you also speak like that to the others. Yeah, this is second one. Third one, beneficent conduct. How do you behave with your body and speech? How do you act? How do you do things? Do you do aggressively or gently, kindly, with integrity? All of those things. So this is a huge topic, but I'm just telling you the 4 things for you to do your homework, because sometimes it is important that you reflect and find out rather than me saying, because I say this, it goes from here and goes out, and you walk out and you say, oh, that was a nice talk. What was it about? I can't remember. So it's much better if you did the reflection. So generosity, endearing speech, beneficent conduct, impartiality. Impartiality means that you treat everybody as much as possible equal. Do you like to be treated equally? Yeah, you like to be included? Nobody likes to be excluded, right? Exactly. So then you have to treat other people like that too. So what are the 4? Number 1, 2, third, good conduct. Yeah. 4th, impartiality. Remember these things. Think about it, because this is not rocket science, right? These are things that you can think about by yourself. think about these things. Do start this with your family. So this is where you'll be planting very important seeds for yourself and for your family. Do you agree? Do you see the point? Yeah? Is it hard? No. No, but some people are not engaging. Are you sleepy, tired? Had enough, very lucky. It's gone past 8. So we can stop now. All right. Anyway, these are some of the things I wish to say. So do we share merits now? Is that what we do? So this is a piece of paper. So this event is organized by Sirimavo past pupils. Did you know I went to Sirimavo when I was in grade 1 and 2? So I'm a past pupil too. What a coincidence. But I spent most of my time education in Mahamaya, but Sirimavo I spent 2 years. In Canberra, okay. We would like to wish good merits to all the people who are participating today. That's very nice. And also we would like to take this opportunity to share merits with Desi Buddhadasa, that is Jinali's mother, who passed away last night. Yeah, last night, true? Yes. And also every time. So what is passing on merit? Do you have joy in your heart after listening to some good things, helpful things? Yeah. So that joy is what we are going to share. So we are going to first of all share our merits, share our joy with our parents, whether they are living or whether they are passed away. We are also going to share merits with our teachers. Has your teachers been helpful to you? So we share merits with them. We also share merits with all of our departed relatives from both this life and previous lives. And we share merits, lastly, with all beings in all realms of existence. May they all be free from suffering. Not last, the very last. We share merits with all of us here. Right? We also want to be happy, so we also share merits with each other to be happy, to do well in life, for good health, and progress on the path for joy, peace, and happiness. Okay, so that's the sharing merits in English. So shall we all do the chanting in Pali? Yeah? Yeah? All right, so we chant all together. Okay. Akasata ca bummata devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu loka sasanam. Akasata ca bummata devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu desanam. Akasatta ca bummata devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu mam paranti ettavata ca ammehi sampada punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Okay, so anything else? No? Yes, what would you like? Okay, you will have to put it on the table. Sukhi Hotu. Okay, so that's the end. All right. Thank you all for coming. I believe there is nice tea and stuff for you. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Some food.
Yes.
Nice.
Enjoy. Enjoy, and it's always nice to come and nice to see you. I recognize many faces coming to Santi, and if you haven't been, please do come, right? Thank you for coming. May you be well. May you be happy. Thank you for the questions and answers. He was a human. He became perfect because he became enlightened. That's what it does. So then it's not normal human being. Okay. Thank you. You also may be well and happy.
Your caretaker is here?
Sorry?
You came with somebody?
No, I have somebody taking me. Yeah.
Alright, no, because I just wanted to take the
Oh, yes.
Who is he
You
here?
can give to my mother. Do you know my mother is?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother is here.
I'll just
Ada katakan. Hari. Okay. Well and happy. Oh, thank you. Pero sí, stories are so can you be well? Can you be well? Okay. That's okay. Terima kasih. School in
yes, they are going to take it to your page.
So you found my map?
Yeah, I found it. I just did.
Exactly, isn't it? You only need love, not other things. Very recently. Thank you for coming.
We were meant to be like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. That was it.
You recognize him. That's
Yeah,
an
of
effect.
course. That's really nice to see. Are you from Singapore?
No, I'm from Manila. So one of my friends is coming from I'm coming to
You have to make them feel it. Was it too bad for the parents to talk like that? It's okay.
No, it's great. Thank you so much.